Right, hello again, everybody. This is Derek, and I am coming back at you with another Wargaming in Miniature video. And my microphone is a million miles away from me, but now I got it. I squared it away. All right, so I did a little work on these guys. These are a mixture of Plastic Soldier Company, Flames of War, and I don't think there's any Old Glory in this, but I do have a couple of figures, a couple of the machine guns, and a couple of the mortar. Oh, wait, the mortars. Okay, so yeah, it's a mixture of Old Glory as well. But the machine gunners are... Oh, dang it. What's that company's name? They make great tanks. I love their tanks. Let me think just for a second. My mind. It's They make a game called Empire at War, something like that. They made my resin Roman buildings. Oh crap! What's the name of that company? I can see it. I can see it in my mind. The website, Forged in Battle. I think that's correct. I think it's Forged in Battle. Yeah, I know it is. Okay, so some of these models are Old Glory. Some of these models are Forged in Battle. Some of these models are from my Flames of War collection, which I still have like 5 more sprues. And then some of these models are Plastic Soldier Company as well. So there's a mixture of a bunch of different ones. I'm painting these up as a Luftwaffe Field Division, or actually Luftwaffe Field Battalion is what I'm painting them up as. But before we get started, there's a couple of things I wanted to show you, which I'm probably going to do a video on this. I got some magnets in. Yeah, I got these magnets in. They're 5mm by 1mm magnets. And I tested it on this on this Sherman turret just to see if it would go down inside the hole, and it does. It does. Because I've got this Firefly here with a magnetic turret, right? And I wanted to test to see if this this Sherman 76 would fit on this body, but that's mainly because I'm just testing the magnet. And there it is. Works just fine. Okay. Okay, so that's one thing. I got the magnets in. And I think there's like 200 of them in the package. It was a really good deal. I got my Litco order in. I wasn't expecting it in for another week or so. But I've got some... Oh, that's actually a cool label. Okay, because it's kind of like in bold right there, 3mm. So yeah, we got some 3mm thick 25mm circles. Not for this game. For Oathmark is really what I'm, or any other skirmish game out there, right? And I got a couple of hundred of them, right? So that's the second bag of them. But more importantly, what I was glad to see is I got 10 movement trays. Let me move this box out of the way. Actually, I got 10 of these movement trays. I got 2 of these movement trays. And 2 of these movement trays. So, different movement trays for different situations. But this... I haven't opened this bag yet. Can I get one of these trays out? Oh, okay. I was like, the rubber bands are separate. But yeah, they got this one large rubber band over the whole thing. There we go. Now, they're not assembled. I'm kind of yelling at you guys. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, these guys are not assembled yet. But you get the idea. It just goes together exactly the way it's laying on the base. Once I glue it down and all that, and then spray paint it, I want to know if this base will fit. Okay, that base does fit. There's, I don't know if you can see that. There is just a little bit of wiggle room in there, which is perfect. Super happy about that. But my issue is it's, even though these sides are supposed to be 3mm and this is supposed to be 3mm, I was thinking it was going to be like a perfectly flat situation, which it basically is. But then I was thinking, if I put a figure on top of that, it's going to sit up higher than the movement tray, which is not a problem. But I did order some 2mm from War Bases, and that means when I put the, hypothetically, when I take the round door for whoever I've got and I put it in there, it's going to sink down only 1mm, right? Just a millimeter. And then the figure base will stick up probably, I'm guessing it's going to stick up about 2mm. So it's going to stick up a little bit over the movement tray. But I am excited about this. I am going to flock the movement tray. I don't know if I want to like put a unit in there and then flock where the dirt and the grass look like they would match up. I don't want to do that because I plan to use this movement tray for my elves, my humans, my dwarves, my goblins, whatever I'm going to be using, skeletons. So the movement tray is going to be kind of generic, right? And then I'm going to put Now, I could base all of my guys exactly the same way. And if I do that, then they would all match with my movement trays. So I'm actually thinking that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have like a similar basing style for most of my units. Now, I got 10 of these movement trays. I'm not really sure how many. I figured I would need at least 3 per side, right? Because you get 30 miniatures in a box. So if I make my forces out of 1 box, that's probably not going to be a very good force. So I'm thinking I'm going to make maybe 2 boxes. And if that's the case, I would need probably 6 of these movement trays. I only got 10, so yeah, I only got 10. So I might need to order a couple more, but I'm not sure. And then I got this movement tray, which has 2-inch circles. Specifically, I got 2 of those, specifically for monsters, like ogres and trolls and stuff like that. So we'll be experimenting with that. Okay. Let me put my gloves on because I want to get this show on the road. I ordered through Amazon some cork, right? And I realized when I ordered the first set of cork, which I did like a couple of years ago, I ordered this, which is like a half, not even a half inch. This is like a 1/4 of an inch. Double check that. 3/8. Yeah, it's like 3/8. But it's the brown or black, dark brown cork, which is I made a bunch of terrain tiles with that cork, and that was a mistake. It's super heavy. Yeah, I should have stuck with foam. I did that cork thinking it would be a would be better, and I don't think it is. So I'm gonna abandon those tiles. I still have them. They're out in the garage. A box of tiles that cover a table weighs about 70 pounds. I mean, it's like super heavy. So I might just chuck it, right? Take that box to the dump and just unload it. Okay. We clean this palette. This was the palette I used last night, and what am I doing? Okay. And I got a lot done. They're almost finished. Or I should say they're well on their way. I do have some like I gotta paint some rifles. I have to paint What else? Some flesh on the hands. Throw some metallics on the ammo belts and some of the weapons. Oh yeah, and some Dunkelgelb on some Panzerfausts and Panzerschrecks and the artillery pieces. Yeah, there's Dunkelgelb all the way around, right? So what else? Wood entrenching tools, slings, and then a wash. Yeah. And then there'll be, oh, and then of course a couple of steps after the wash, like for highlighting and stuff. But I think I might be able to get it to the wash state. Maybe not. It's been taking a while per color. So I grabbed some of my figures that I had painted already that I broke off of their bases, and I decided to go ahead and stick them on some. That's not even all of them. There's still like maybe a dozen infantry in there, and a bunch of prone machine guns. But I'm only going to use those, whatever's in this box. I'm only going to use them as emergency filler. So like if I run out, like if this isn't enough. So I wanted to count my models. Is that good? No. Hang on. Gotta open this. It's gonna change things. There we go. Yeah, that should be all right. Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and count them, but I'm in no hurry to count them just yet. I'll probably count them at some point. Now, I thought about not doing the support elements, just to speed the process up. But I said, nah, let's just go ahead and do it while I've got it all out. I'm using the Warlord Games or Army Painter war paints. Wood brown. It's kind of a red brown. Why does it seem dark in here? Oh, because I don't have that light on. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be enough. Plus, it doesn't look like it's been shook up. So this is really just the entrenching tool handles. That's all this is. Oh, and the machine gun buttstocks. But rifles are going to be beige brown. Okay. So I pulled up a bunch of reference material for like Luftwaffe field battalions at Normandy, and I saw the gas mask canister color on the majority of them. Now, they're not all the same. Okay, that's right. Pair of glasses. They're not all the same, but okay, I've got to adjust this so I can see. That's why it's dark. That light might be in your eye. Apologize. Okay, that's in my eyes now. Hang on. There you go. That's perfect. Okay, entrenching tools. Not everybody's got one. I've already painted the entrenching tool carrier. So really all I need to do is look for the entrenching tool carrier, and I should be able to find the entrenching tool handle. Easy peasy. As they say, lemon squeezy. Yeah, so that cork I got in, I ordered some cork because I wanted to scratch build some walls, specifically as part of my built up areas, but also just walls that I can build for edging a field. So I ordered not a whole lot, just like 4 1-foot squares, and I got them in yesterday. And when I opened it up, it was a 1/4 inch, and nothing wrong with it. Beautiful cork, but it's at 15 millimeter. It would be pushing it for thickness. I mean, it would be a very thick wall. It'd be perfect for like 28 millimeter. So if I use it to make any walls, I'll be making them for 28 millimeter. Knowing this, the refrigerator's making noises in there. Yeah, knowing this, I went ahead and just buckled down, went back, took a look to see if I could find anything thinner. And I found some 1/8 inch cork. and I ordered it. I didn't realize how thick a quarter of an inch was. Until I got it in and like paired it up with some figures. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is cut the cork into some strips of about 10 millimeters high. And then I can either make them into walls, which what I normally do with walls is normally I take a craft stick, like a popsicle stick, and use that as the base. But again, that's great for 28 millimeter. I mean, it's perfect and it's awesome. But for 15 millimeter, I would need to find some very thin craft sticks, or coffee stirrers, or something like that that's super thin. And then I remembered when I saw that guy. Whoa, what am I painting? Okay. I saw a guy do some felt like roads and stuff. But what's important about that video in this case is he made some walls and he used the felt as the base. Like he made these really thin strips of felt. And once he glued the wall onto the felt, it made the felt stiff. And it gave the bottom of the felt or bottom of the wall just enough support that it didn't tip over or anything. So I was planning on doing that. Because once you throw some plaster or some glue, and then you throw some block on that felt base, it's going to stiffen it up. Not that it needs it, but it does help it. The only thing I'm concerned about with that whole situation is if the felt will curl. Yeah, so I'm going to have to combat the curl. Now, I was not only going to make some like roadside walls or field side walls, I was also going to mainly, this is like the main reason why I got it. I was going to scratch build some farm complex walls and basically make a built up area, you know, with a building or two and then maybe some walls that go around the outer edge of the built up area. I don't see any entrenching tools there. Right. Oh, yeah, that's right. I got to get back to the machine guns. And let me do those while I'm thinking about it. Looks good. All right, so this color blew by. Which is good. Yeah, and I could probably get away with making the 1/4 inch walls. Yeah, I could probably get away with making the 1/4 inch walls, but based on a 15mm scale. But when you, and that'll be great for like the roads and the fields, but the built up areas I'm planning on making at a smaller scale, like 12mm or 10mm. And that 1/4 inch wall will really just be way too big. Thickness wise, not height wise. That's going to be up to me to decide how high I want to make it. I'm thinking about 10 millimeter. Yeah, I'm thinking about 10 millimeter. It might be shorter than that actually. Okay, there's an interesting tool, but you're never going to see it. Okay, that color's done. Okay, so I'm thinking beige brown for all my rifles. Wow, okay. My back is killing me. All this leaning over this table. So I don't know what I'm going to do with those cork tiles. I'm going to hold on to them. Use them for something. I might make some 28 millimeter scale walls with it. Or I might just use them to lay on my table to absorb shock. Or put them on my shelf. Okay, beige brown, what's going on here? This brown base might actually look better. But I'm going to go with brown. I'm going to go with beige brown. Now, with these figures here, if I made a change in colors over here, I was sure to follow up over here and basically just like the gas mask canister, on these guys it was a really dark gray color, and I started painting them green. So because I said I pulled up some reference material and it looked like they had green gas mask canisters, which took me a good while. I don't know, maybe an hour, maybe not. I don't know how long it took, but it felt like an eternity. I tried a bunch of different colors to match up. Right, I was trying to get the perfect green for the gas mask canister. And I wound up using, now I don't even remember, splinter stripes, not the splinter blotches, or maybe it was, I don't even remember now. My mind is failing me today. Most of those are MP40s. All of those are MG42s. In my head canon, when I'm painting figures and I get to the point where I'm painting the rifles, I know in my head that I'm almost done. Because usually I keep the rifle pretty close to the last thing I paint. Oh wait, there's one more machine gun. Okay, hang on. Forgot about this guy. Going back to the wood color. And done. All right. Now with this beige brown, not only am I painting the rifle stocks, or I should say furniture, but I'm also painting grenades handles. So I gotta keep my eyes open for grenades. Either sticking out of a boot, in a hand, in a belt. Now I thought about getting some popsicle sticks. I started looking for something that would be very thin and narrow, but I don't think the craft sticks are any smaller than maybe half inch, right? And that's too thick. And I've decided not to use my foam tiles to make tiles. I basically put them in the box and stored them for a future project if I decide to go Waterloo or something. But for my World War II gaming, we're going to go blanket and surface terrain, like roads and rivers and anything else. is going to be laid on top of the blanket. Pills, just like I was planning on doing with my Meg Ancients. That was going to be a blanket, and then depending on the terrain that you have for the battle, place it on the table. Okay. So with O group, I'm going to make a bunch of like plowed fields, woods. I'm not going to make them as big as I did for Meg. I think those are pretty big. Pretty big. Right? I'm going to make some 6-inch, approximately, some 6-inch fields, built up areas, woods. I'm going to make some roads. Now I already have a ton of bocage and cultivated hedges that I made for the Lafayette Bridge scenario that we did. I've got trees out the wazoo. Yeah, I've got a ton of trees. I've got some roads. I mean, I was digging through my stuff the other night, and I've got some roads, but I'm not happy with them. So I was going to make some new ones. Felt plaster, and now if I make any roads for myself, which I am, are those all hands? Yeah, you don't even see the wood. You can't see the wood because it's covered by hands. Okay, that's no problem. We'll just paint the hands. Alrighty. Wow, these rifles are going really fast. Now I plan to take some of these figures and some of these figures and intermix them randomly. I'm not going to say just these go into a platoon and just those go into a platoon. You know, it's not going to be like that. I'm going to try not to cherry pick, but I probably will. What I like to do is take every figure with the same pose, and then, like, if there's 9 of them, then put one in each of the platoons. You know, so every platoon will have one guy with that pose. It just makes the platoons more diverse in their action poses. Now, I thought about ordering the status tokens, but in my opinion, they're too expensive. They're really not. They're actually reasonably priced. I just feel like I can make my own. I don't need to buy them. I like the triangle concept. You know, one shock, two shocks, and suppressed. I like that idea. That way you can just turn the token. But you don't have to do it that way. So I was thinking that I would put, I would take a base, a rectangular base, not a square base. On one end, put 1, and on the other end, put a 2, and then you can just, depending on, you know, how you lay the base down, will determine if you're at 1 or 2 shock. And then just turn it over and put suppressed on the other underside. So that's what I was thinking. And orders, that could be anything. That doesn't have to be a base that has the word order on it. I was thinking I was going to use my old Napoleon's Battles wooden tokens. They're wooden blocks, and they're a variety of different colors. And you're almost never going to need more than about 10 of them. It's not true, but I mean, you can use a die for that. You know, you roll your command dice, and this is what I've been thinking. You're rolling your command dice, and then whatever dice turn up as an order, you just set those dice by your battalion commander. And then each one of those die represent your orders. But in that case, you would need another set of dice for rolling, like to hit and things. Which I don't think is a problem. Or I could just make a bunch of command tokens using bases, because I've got a shitload of bases. Now I was reading. Okay, now this is just an anecdote about the rules and rules interpretations. So I was on the forum, And this guy gets on there and he says, kind of rudely, I mean, I don't think he realizes that he was typing aggressively, which that's no problem. You can kind of look past that, you know. Give everybody the shadow of the doubt. But his comments were, this game is not realistic. Okay, well, I wanted to say, it wasn't directed at me. I was reading this, and this was written years ago. Maybe not years ago, but it was written a long time ago. And I have nowhere to. I have no place to comment because I haven't even played my first solo game. Okay. Anybody got a rifle? Yep, you do. But his comment, his explanation of what he meant was it revolved around the command and control orders and how the battalion commander issues orders and the flow of the game. You know, that was the focus of his argument. Okay, I think that's everybody's rifles. All right. Wow. Beige brown. You're done. I mixed way more than I thought I was going to need. I need to undermix. Okay, my back. Crack, 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 crack. My back is cracked. Crack-a-lack. Oh. Okay. Okay, I know for a fact I'm going to need some brass balls. No, some brass for belts. Right? And for the artillery pieces, their shells. I paint those brass. Dunkelgelb. I've got like 50. Well, this is open. Okay. I've got like 15 different Dunkelgelbs. Okay, what do we got here? Dunkelgelb, Ausgabe, 1944. What is Ausgabe? What does that mean? Ausgabe. Okay, you know what? I'm Googling it. I'm a Googling. Let's move this over here and that over there and shrink that. Okay. Ausgabe. Okay. Maybe I should say translate. Okay, that didn't help. $19.44. Okay. All these paint swatches come up. RAL 7028. What is this? RAL 7028. Okay. RAL 7028. Dunkelgelb Late War. Oh, is that what Ausgabe means? Huh. Okay, that's like a spray paint. That's cool. Um, modulated colors. Dark yellow. That's Dunkelgelb, right? Dark yellow. Ausgabe. Let me go straight to the source. Let me go to AK. Visit site. What site is that? AK. All right. Dunkelgelb. The AFP label, very special, of course. Latest generation of colors. It doesn't say. Okay. It's probably just late war. Okay, hold on. There's some text here. Dunkelgelb was introduced as a uniform camouflage color for German vehicles in 1943. Yeah, with red, brown, and olive green to camouflage. In October 1944, a new shade, that's October though, we're in June, a new shade, Ausgabe, was introduced. The new shade was darker and slightly greenish. Oh, it is. Ausgabe. Okay, but that's after October. Okay, so don't use this color. See, look at that. I'm learning. Dunkelgelb replaced Ausgabe 1943. In fall of 1944, the economical coating was introduced. Until then, the entire vehicle was first painted completely in Dunkelgelb, and then the camouflage colors were applied. Wow, this is a wealth of information. Okay. That was a wealth of information. That was good. Okay, so we're not going to use the Ausgabe. But I have this thing called Dunkelgelb DG3 from Ammo. Dunkelgelb DG1, which I assume means Dunkelgelb 1. So there's 1 and 3. And then there's something just called Dunkelgelb. And this is called Dunkelgelb Initial, which I guess AK is providing a 3-tier paint system. And this is the initial coat. What I'm gathering. Okay. That looks like it would be a highlight to me on a Dunkelgelb vehicle. This is Dunkelgelb 1. This is Dunkelgelb. And then this is Dunkelgelb 3. So if hypothetically you go 1, 2, and 3. And then this is called Initial, which looks a lot like that. Thinking Dunkelgelb 1. The reason why basically all of the guns, all of the mortars, machine gun tripods, the smaller mortars, and the Panzerfausts and the Panzerschrecks are all going to be this color. And so I wanted to make sure that I chose the right one. And whenever there was an option to use MiG, I've been trying to use MiG, but sometimes I can't. Sometimes I have to use Vallejo, because that's my largest selection is Vallejo. Sometimes I have to use AK, or sometimes I have to use Army Painter, or whatever I've got to use. But since I just recently got these MIG paints in, I really wanted to try them. So I've been experimenting. Okay. With a fairly large brush, I mean, it's an 8.0. It's an 8, so I don't know if you consider that a large brush. But I do. Okay. We're going to add a little water to this, just so it'll flow better. If it means I have to do 2 coats, then so be it. It seems light. Like they said, the 1944 went darker and greener, but we're playing where I'm aiming for Normandy. Okay. I just feel like that's a little too bright. I know I'm going to wash it, but I still think it's too bright. What do we think about that color? Because remember, it doesn't have to be exactly the right color. Because I understand that different size models play with your mind and give you an illusion sometimes. Okay, we're going to try. I'm going to look another color up. It's hard because my microphone is in the way and the camera is right in front of my monitor, and cry me a river. Okay. This is AK. No, it's not. It's MIG. MIG. See what this says. Ammo, MIG, ochre. It's the perfect color to paint Zimmerit. Huh. Okay. It's the color to paint Zimmerit, which I always thought was just the Dunkelgelb. But you can tell that this is a little bit darker than this is the Dunkelgelb, and this one is Zimmerit. It's a little bit darker, but not heinous. That makes sense. So I'm going to test some of this Zimmerit. This is probably the correct color, and with a wash, I'm sure it's going to darken up. But it's just too bright. It's just too... Now I could go in and camouflage it like I've already done with these. I actually painted these more of a green and then camouflaged them, which my understanding is, yeah, they did camouflage their gear, but it wasn't on top of green. It was on top of more of a middle stone. Which I guess I could paint these middle stone, but I don't want to do that. Okay, so we're going into test mode here. Get one more of these mortars. And apply Zimmerit to it, and then see if that's acceptable by me. I'm very particular. Okay. Don't think I like it. It looks like a sand color. It is a little bit darker. It is a little bit darker. But again, I don't think it's the color I'm looking for. I'm looking for more of an ochre color, I think. Got desert yellow. Got tan yellow. Tan yellow doesn't look right. Ochre khaki. Ooh. Ochre khaki. Or khaki gray, even. See, that's more of the color that I want. I guess that's close to Middlestone. Right? No, that's orange. Hold on, that's orange khaki. And this. I'm all over the place, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, khaki gray. I don't like it. See if I can find my middle stone and see if it's close. These should all be British. field. Ochre. Africa Corps. I just used it. Not tonight, not today, but nope, that's beige. Okay, so I don't think it's over here. Ah, here's Middlestone. No, Middlestone's got too much green in it. I mean, it looks good on their helmets, but got too much green in it. I want it to be more. I want it to be darker. These seem to be too light. Not brown enough. But I don't want to go overboard. Khaki gray. Green brown. Jungle galb. Ochre khaki. Khaki gray. Ochre khaki. That might be too dark. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with... struggling, guys. I am struggling. Okay, let's try this AK. Because it is the RAL 7028, which is what it's... I mean, it's labeled exactly what it's supposed to be. Maybe it winds up being exactly what it's supposed to be. Or what I want it to be, I should say. Where's the third mortar? There you are. Okay. Okay. Got more of a yellow to it. I think my decision has been made. Okay, so that, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that was the first one. Just too whitish, just too light. And then the second one was Zimmerit, if I remember right. Yeah, I used Zimmerit, and that came out as more of a desert sand looking color. And then Dunkelgelb early, that's the color. Okay. So I'll go back in and paint these again with the correct color, but I'm going to let this initial color dry before I do that. Yeah, let me put these away. AK, coming to the rescue. I hear birds chirping outside. Okay, why did that not show up? Hang on. Oh, because I have it turned off. Okay, I can't read the name, but you said that welcome, first of all, and you said these models are beautiful. I appreciate that. Um, just wait, because once I get them finished, I will zoom in. Not today, but I like to do like project updates, and when I do those updates, I get my camera within about 6 inches of them, and I've got a little spinner and stuff, and I show them off basically. I'm proud of my work. Okay, now if I get paint on the base, I don't care because I'm still going to texture the base. Put flock and grass and all of that on there. I'm just being careful not to get it on the men. And these guys are very close to being done. I just need to do some straps. Some details. We'll have to scour the models to make sure that I'm not missing anything before I make that commitment. But it's okay because usually what I'll do is I'll give them their initial base coat where they are 99% done, and then I'll apply a wash. And then once the wash is done, I'll go back over the model and touch up the highlights. And a lot of times that's when mistakes show up. Like one boot didn't get painted, or I forgot to do this guy's hand or something, right? And that's when I go in and I fix all those oversights. Yeah, just last night when I was painting the splinter camouflage on these guys, the initial coat was the camouflage, German camouflage beige, right? Yeah, German camouflage beige, and then I go and I put the brown on there. And then I went to do the green, because there's green as well. And when I got to this one strip of figures, they started painting the green, and then when I turned the figure over to paint the back side, there was no brown. It was like that whole strip I had forgot to turn it over when I was doing the brown. So I was like, whoops. Yeah, I was reading somewhere that before 1943, the Germans were painting their equipment gray, like a dark gray, a dunkel gray, a German gray, or whatever you call it. But after a certain date in 43, they decided to give up on the gray and started painting everything dunkelgelb, which my understanding is the dunkelgelb is like an anti-rust coating. Straight out of the factory, they would coat it with this dunkelgelb, and it was never meant to be the paint job. It was supposed to be an undercoat. But with issues with acquiring paint and stuff like that, they just camouflage directly on top of the dunkelgelb. So you'll see like dunkelgelb is the primary color, and then greens and browns on top of it. That's my understanding. I could be wrong. I'm a casual World War II historian. I'm not a professional historian, that is. Might have to order another bottle of that. Just because I'm using a lot of it. Now, in that same article I read, he said there's nothing wrong with having a gray tank in the late war, or having a camouflaged tank, or whatever. But if you are going to use a gray tank in the late war, just understand that paint job is old. It's like that tank has survived. Maybe the tank crew's a veteran or something. Maybe they're an ace or whatever you call tankers that are really good. All right, infantry gun. I got a 75 infantry gun platoon here. 2 sections. Now, the 75 models are cuter from Old Glory. Because when you buy the Old Glory 75 millimeter infantry gun, you get 6 infantry guns, but no crew or anything, just 6 guns. So the crew is from Flames of War. I'm looking forward to the new kits, the new starters that are going to be coming out in a couple of months. My understanding is they're a re-release of a previous sets, and their focus is on D-Day, which, because this year is the anniversary, 1944, 2024. So what is that? 80 years anniversary. I think it's 80 years. And June would be the time that I think they're planning on releasing these sets as kind of a celebration for the anniversary. Hard to believe that D-Day was 80 years ago. It feels like it was almost yesterday. When I was stationed in Italy, we had a group of guys get assigned to go to Normandy and do a jump during one of the celebrations. This would have been in the early 80s. That's when I was with the 509th in Italy. 81 to about 83-ish. And then from there I went to the 101st. Became a Pathfinder. Now I've got some 75 millimeter, Pac 40s already put together and painted, but I didn't have any 50s. Now I've got 5 more sprues for these 50s. I was looking at them because I was thinking about putting them on the store. Because how many 50s do you really need, right? The answer is 2. Row group. I guess you could have more depending on a scenario, or if you were crazy and bought a lot of anti-tank guns, if you were doing point values. But my point was, I decided not to sell them. I probably still will, but I decided not to sell them because they've got Nebelwerfers on the same sprue. So instead of making instead of making a 50 millimeter anti-tank gun, I could assemble them as Nebelwerfers. Nebelwerfers. Okay, the rest are all going to be smaller than an 8 brush can handle. But I've got 2 mortars over here that are the wrong shade of Dunkelgelb. And I decided not to do 2 coats on these guys. I'm going to let them look a little worn. I'm going to let that gray it's a field gray, but I'm going to let it kind of shine through. But it is a good coat. It's not heinous, as I would say. Okay, so I'm going to need to switch to a smaller brush to do like Panzerfausts and Panzerschreckers. Don't need to go too small. So I think I'm going to go with, that's kind of too small. The 3.0. All right. Let's do these machine guns first. I've always painted German tripods like a German green or a re refractive green or a German olive green. And I didn't realize that later in the war, the tripods were painted Dunkelgelb as well. Learn things all over. I knew the ammo can was Dunkelgelb. I guess I just never pieced it together. But again, you could probably get away with leaving it green. Because I'm sure there was some tripods that have been in the unit for a long time. They were issued back when tripods were green. So if you guys are out there, oh my gosh, there's some chats that I've missed. Let me go ahead and catch up on the chats. And then I've got a question for you guys. Okay. I got a question, but let me read the chats. War never changes. In World War II, tens of millions of people died. Now the war has never stopped. You're right. There's wars going on. I don't think there's been a time that I can remember that the world has not had somebody fighting somewhere. And oh, you're on halfway around the world. All right. Well, good night. If I missed you, my question is, if you're playing, if you play World War II, which some people don't. Some people play ancients. Some people play medievals or Napoleonics or whatever. But if you do play World War II, what rule set do you use? And if you use more than one, that's okay too. I want to hear about it. What rule set are you enjoying at the moment? Okay, I was looking for things that I knew weren't there. Mainly Panzerfausts and Panzerschrecks. Oh, wait. A couple of these guys are carrying ammo cans. Yep. What are you? Okay. No. Or maybe just one of these guys is carrying an ammo can. Yep. Okay. Oh, here's a bunch of Panzerfausts. And I'm painting things in their hands. And then when I'm done, then I'll paint their hands. That's rifles, Panzerfaust, grenades, whatever. Binoculars. Painting all the stuff that are in their hands first. Initial Dunkelgelb. Looking good. Okay, all those Panzerfausts. Nobody with Panzerfaust. Here's a couple of Panzerschrecks. So in O group, every platoon has anti-tank capabilities. You know, that's where the Panzerfausts come in. But as a support element, you can purchase dedicated anti-tank teams like Panzer Shreks. So I plan to put a few Panzerfaust's models in each of the platoons. Okay. There's the Panzer Schreckers. Now this guy's got a couple of Panzerfausts over his shoulders. I'm giving you guys a little bit of opportunity to write in. I don't see any responses. That's okay. If you don't want to respond, or if you're not, maybe you don't play World War II. Maybe you only play Ancients or something. This guy's firing a Panzer Schreck. Nope, Panzer Faust. Just like a rifle. He's aiming and firing. Oh, 3 of these guys are doing that. And one guy has carrying it to low ready. Got his rifle slung. That guy is ready to go with a Panzerfaust. So now on these ammo bearers, I don't know if I want to go in and fix anything, namely their ammo cans, because I got them, they're kind of an OD green. I don't think I want to touch them. I'm going to leave them OD green. And there are a couple of Panzerfausts that I am going to touch up. I painted them like a desert yellow and not a Dunkelgelb. So I'm going to fix that. All right. That's fixed. Oh, one more. Okay. That's what I was looking for. All right. Okay, that's leather brown, but I don't want to use leather brown. Some of these officers have holsters, and I want to paint them a brown color. Or should they be black? But I think they're brown. Or are they black? Oh, dang it. Now I gotta look. Sorry. I'm all over the place. Images. Can never really trust colorized pictures. Okay. That was a good resource, but not good enough. Okay. I need to put equipment. Because they're always showing me their jacket color, and that's not what I care about. Okay. Okay, this one's a. It's probably a repro, though. Light brown Luftwaffe pistol holster. Light brown, original World War II, looks brown. Field gear. Yeah, it's brown. Okay, that's what I thought. It is not black. It is brown. It's kind of a darker brown. Kind of like their boots. I guess I could paint it the same color as their boots. The chocolate chip. But I think I'm just going to paint it flat brown. That's a very thick color. One drop should do it. Now I have to find all the officers with holsters. Okay, so I'm looking at every figure. And not everybody's got a holster, obviously. Where do I want to put this? I'm going to put it right there. Oh yeah, that's a great color for a holster. Except I'm not painting a holster, I'm painting a map case right here. Same color. There's a holster. Ooh, that needed to be Dunkelgelb. Oh well. I'll get back to that. A little range finder. He doesn't have a holster? That's weird. But I will accept it. Yeah, I need to pull that out because I know I'm going to need it. For the hands. Okay, that's the holster. really? Okay. Now the company commanders, they definitely have holsters. Just have to find them. Okay, those guys. Good. So really, I'm just looking for officers. Might have a pistol. Okay. That officer has one. Finally. He has one. A brass, metal, dark brown, light tone. I think that's where we're at. I think those are the only colors I need to work on. Not true, there's one more color. Crap. Well, let's do the Dunkelgelb on those sighting devices before my Dunkelgelb dries up. I guess it's a rangefinder. Almost lunchtime. I usually end the stream right when I decide I'm going to have lunch. And then sometimes I work again, like work off camera. That might be the case. I was hoping that I could get to the point where at least I'm washing them, because I'm going to have to set the model down and let the wash dry, so might as well do that off camera. Okay. The brass should be fairly, oh wait, okay, it's going to be a little more complicated than I thought. I thought it was just the machine guns, but that's not true. Some of the artillery have guys holding shells. Okay, so let's go to the guys holding shells. That's one guy. Yeah, on these flak guns, one guy's holding a shell, getting ready to load it, and another guy is unpacking a shell from its carrying case. And then another guy is just standing there. And then another guy is range finding. Now on this artillery piece, two guys have shells in their hands. It's probably because I just didn't have the... I mean, I was looking for a variety. I think even the 50 caliber guys, or 50 millimeter, have guys with shells, but maybe not. Maybe I'm mistaken. Well, here's the guy with a shell. What about these infantry guns? Yep, there's a shell on this guy. Now the mortars, they have guys holding the shells, getting ready to drop around, but those are not going to be brass. Those are just dark gray. Okay, there's brass for that machine gun. Brass for that gun. I'm looking forward to playing some O Group. I think I'm going to do some solo games here in the studio just to get a feel of the game, but also to kind of just show it off. Okay. Okay. all the brass. Now, almost everything needs gunmetal. That lid looks like it's on crooked. Yeah, there's something wrong with that lid. Yeah, something wrong with that lid. I don't know what's going on. Whoa! Some air bubbles. With a little bit bigger brush. An O. All right. Once I get all the hands occupied with all their gear, then I should be able to go in and actually paint the hands. Yeah, I'm starting to get really hungry. Yeah, I painted the machine guns black gray. And now I'm going over them with gunmetal. They look good. Right. Now I've got some SS painted for, like a platoon in battle group. But I found by doing these that that's not enough to convert to a battalion in O group. And the reason why that is because of combat patrols. Is there an olive green? Okay. German olive green. It's called olive grün. And it is an AK paint. And this is Russian green. Yeah, that's Russian green. That's olive drab. U.S. olive uniform. Olive drab base. Dark olive green. Here we go. Yeah, I'm going to pull that out for the hand grenades. I saw this guy holding a hand grenade in his hand, and I was like, I haven't painted that yet. Well, the explosive head. I've already painted the wood. Okay. Now, MP40s, I usually just paint them dark gray and then just go with a really rapid swipe of the brush over them with the gunmetal. But I do cover the entire gun or I don't. I aim for the entire gun, but if I miss something, I leave it because the dark gray is already on there. And this is just to accentuate or to reveal that it is metal. Boop, boop, boop. Done. Fairly straightforward. Oh, I started talking about a forum goer, and then I changed the subject. That was my ADD kicking in, probably. Okay, so this guy complained about O Group not being realistic, and I haven't played a game yet, so I felt like I don't really have any leg to stand on, but I think I've got a pretty good grasp of the abstract, and an O Group is an abstract game. It's not man to man. It's not 1 inch equals 1 inch. You know, it's a game. Now, I understand you want there to be realism, and you want it to be... It seemed like he wanted to play at a different level of detail. Like maybe he wanted a skirmish game. Because he was complaining, and this was his complaint, and then I'll tell you my thoughts about it. He was complaining that every turn the battalion commander was issuing orders to his battalions. And he felt that oh, nasty. He felt that battalion commanders should give orders to their company commanders, who in turn give orders to their... Oh man, I need tires. They give orders to... Yeah, that reminds me, I need to do some tires. I think I'm going to use MIG. Rubber and tires. Okay, when I get to it. And okay, where was that? Yeah, he felt that the battalion commander should give orders to his units and then send them on their way and let them fight it out with the enemy. And that is partially correct, but not entirely correct. So So he said that by rolling command every turn and then having to issue, and it's a battalion level command, having to issue these orders to the units in the battle, he felt like that was micromanaging, that a battalion commander wouldn't do that. I guess he's never been in the or let me rephrase that. I guess he's never been in a World War II battle. Now, I want to tell you something. You probably already know this if you've been listening to me rant for years. I was in the Army. Now, I'm not saying that just by being in the Army that I know better than everyone else. But I was involved in command and control. I wasn't in the talk, but I was a radio man, and I heard everything that was going on in every situation. Right? If we had a battle, company commander would be on the line with the platoon commanders, telling them what he wanted to do. And the company commander was also online with the battalion commander. So the company commander had a line going in both directions, down to the platoons and up to the battalion. And he would basically have a handset in both hands. And he would issue orders, or I should say, he would be told from time to time, he would be told from the battalion commander, I want you to do this. What's the status over here? Have you made contact? When do you expect to be over here? What's holding you up? Get your ass moving. Why are you being a dick? Okay, I'm exaggerating, but the battalion commander was constantly in the company commander's ear. Not micromanaging, motivating, and directing. I didn't view it as a negative. I viewed it as someone who cared about what was going on under his command. Right? Okay, so far so good. And so when this guy got on there and said, well, the battalion commander shouldn't be issuing orders to his company commanders, they should know what to do. And the guy, there's a couple of guys on the forum that responded to him saying that, and I already knew this because, like I said, I understand when a game is abstract and it's trying to do things within the rules, And sometimes there's a game mechanic that's involved for a reason. Okay. Well, these guys got on there and they said, and I already knew this. Well, I suspected it, I should say. I didn't really know it, but I suspected it. But they get on there and they say, battalion commander does, well, first of all, a turn is about 10 minutes. And a battalion commander will talk to company commanders in the middle of a battle. They will, just as I said, ask them questions, give them directions, motivate them, push them along, or whatever. But the number you roll for your battalion doesn't always represent the battalion commander's orders. It could be the company commander taking the initiative on his own, or the lack thereof. Maybe he's Sobel and he's super cautious, afraid to get in the thick of it, or whatever. And the mechanic is you roll dice for your battalion and you allocate those orders, but that doesn't necessarily mean the battalion commander is yelling down to the company commanders or even the platoons issuing orders. That's not what he's doing. It has nothing to do with the battalion commander. But maybe it does. It could be partially the battalion commander. It could be the company commander taking initiative. It could be the platoon leaders. They're hearing their orders from their company commanders and they're ignoring them because they're scared, or they're under fire and they're pinned, or it could be a lot of things. And all those die rolls is just a simulation of the uncertainty in the battle. That's all it is. And this guy didn't get it. He's like, why is the battalion command? And then he gets back on there and he defends his position. Like, well, the battalion commander shouldn't be issuing these orders. It should be, they should have their orders set ahead of time or something like that. And one guy asked him, do you think that your platoon or your company commanders are fire and forget? And I was like, damn. Okay, I'm just making sure that I think I have everything that I want colored with this color. Yeah. That's a beautiful color. I love it, but it's done. All right. Oh yeah, this metallic. It's also done. Gun metal. Put you away. Okay. Okay, there's another color that I want to get out before I start doing other things. Okay, I'm going to use this color just because I want to use it. Ochre khaki. I probably should be using German orange ochre. Yep. Ochre khaki, orange ochre. I'm going to use orange ochre. Ooh, maybe that one. Nope. What I'm doing now is painting the MP40 magazine pouches. I'm going to paint them with the camo orange ochre. There's not a whole lot of them. But there are some. I gotta clear my eyes. There we go. I think I'm going to lighten that up. It's a little too dark. What's going on here? And I think I watered them down too much. Okay. Yeah, that's a little too dark. I think I'm going to mix a little beige in with it just to kind of lighten it up a little bit. And if I don't add any water, it'll thicken it up a little bit. That's a straight beige. And camo orange ochre looks like about a 50-50. Not camo beige. I thought about that. The camo beige has too much gray in it, I think. Yeah, it looks too gray. Okay. Let's try another pouch. See what it looks like on another guy. Oh yeah, much better. I don't know if the focus will let you see this. Okay, let me turn on autofocus. Um, let's see if that works. Whoa. Yeah, the difference between this one being too orange and this one being just right. I don't know if the light is. The light washed it out. You couldn't really see. Again, once I get these guys fully painted, based, blocked, all that, I will have a video highlight on my O group project. Digging for gold there. Not going to find it. Not there anyway. There was something tickling my nose. I don't know what it was. Wasn't a booger. Booga booga boogie. It wasn't one of those. Okay, those guys are done. These guys don't have submachine guns. Okay. These guys don't either. Nope. Yeah, these guys do. And they have ammo pouch. They have 2 ammo pouches, one on each hip. Yeah, because after I wash these figures and then I go back in and do a little bit of highlighting, I'm still going to have to hit them with a dull coat and then actually base and all that good stuff. So I don't think I'll be able to do all of that in this sitting. I'm getting ready to go eat. I'm going to go eat. So this will be the last color before I plan on counting coup. I want to make sure I've got enough figures here to do the battalion with combat patrols. Now there's something I've been struggling with, and that's putting 2 figures on a base versus 3 figures on a base. Because if I put 2 figures on a base, I effectively increase my battalion size or my figure size by 75%. Right? I mean, it just goes. And yeah, let's. But I think 3 figures looks better. Okay. I believe that is everybody. So we're going to count. Count Koku here. Okay. So these are support, so they don't, I'm not even going to count them. They don't need to be counted in my battalion plans. Okay, so I don't know if you noticed this, but I've got 3 company commanders. I'm not sure if I'm going to need to rebase these or not. So I'm only going to rebase those if I need them, because I want to put my company commanders on discs. Maybe 30 millimeter, maybe 40 millimeter. Um, company commanders, right? I'm doing company commanders because platoons don't have platoon commanders. They're built into the platoon. So company commanders on 30 millimeter discs, I think. Oh, there was something. And I think I want to put them on 2 figures, maybe 3 figures. I'm not sure how I want to do that. Okay. So platoons have uh, in yeah. So platoons have. Let me rephrase that. Let me back up. Battalions have either 2, 3, or 4 companies, depending on the points or the scenario. But the default is 3. And then each company has 3 platoons. And then each platoon has 3 sections. And then in my world, each section is going to have 3 figures. So everything goes up by 3. Okay. I'm going to try something here. Oop. Okay. I don't know if you can see that. I'm reaching. There we go. Okay. So that's fine enough. Okay. So let's do some math. Yeah, that should work. Okay. All right, so here we go. 3 figures times 3 sections, right? So that's a platoon, times 3 platoons equals a company, times 3 companies is 81. So we're at 81 figures for 3 companies. Now, there are 3 company commanders, which I'm going to put either 2 or 3 figures. So let's just say 9. So plus 9, right? And then the battalion commander, right? I'm going to put 3 to 4 figures on there probably. So let's say plus 3 for that. Okay, so that means I've got my battalion commander, my company commanders. Did I just say plus 3? I think I did. Okay, so that means everything's going to have, now there's supposed to be an FO, right? So that's going to be plus 2 more figures. And I think that's it, not counting the supports like machine guns, anti-tank guns, mortars, artillery, stuff like that. So based on these figures here, so I need 95 figures. 95. Oh no, that's not right. I'm not done. Okay, 95. But then there's my plan to put 3 figures on a combat patrol, 3 combat patrols per company, and 3 companies per battalion. So 3, 9, 27, right? 3 per company is 9 figures per battalion, 27. So plus 27. Not counting the Panzerschrecks that I've got in here. Okay. So 122. That's what I need. 122. Think of like a Russian mortar or a Russian cannon. Okay. 122. So we have 1, 2, 3. Not count that one or that one. So 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 times 8 figures is 48. So I still need 74. All right. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, That's 45. Okay, minus 45. Or plus 45. Still down to 27 figures. Oh. Okay, that's 9. 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 20, because that's 7. Wow, okay. I still need 9 figures? Okay. Wow. So I need one more tray. And I can do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. That's not counting these guys. Wow. Super close. Okay, well, there's 9 right there. If I were to use these figures, which I kind of want to because there's radio men up here, that's 6. I could take 6 off. And I think I have an FO in my drawer. Let me double check that. Oh. Might be SS, but wait, that guy looks British. Hold on. I got some other figures here you can't see. Yeah, this base right here says FO on it. Says FO on it. Okay. Radio Man. Guy with binos. Not SS. Or he's not painted P dot like these guys. So that would take two of these guys off effectively. So really I only need one more figure from my box. Okay. So like there's a pack 40. I probably should repaint. I mean, it's painted as a Panzer Grenadier. I guess I can leave it painted as a Panzer Grenadier. It doesn't really matter, right? And then there's an SS one. And it doesn't really matter. Got a couple of flat guns. 37, 20 millimeter. Okay. All right. I'll have enough figures. I'll just have to pull one of these guys out. All right. All right, guys. Well, that's what we're going to call it for the day. I really thought I pulled out enough figures. To do all my combat patrols. I don't know. Oh well, I probably did. Okay, now I'm second guessing myself. I probably did if I did my company commanders as two figures, like these guys, right? If I did my company commanders as two figures and not three, that would have saved me three figures. Right? And then but I thought I did three figures for my Panzer Shreks. In my mind, I did three figures, but I only counted two, or a total of four, for this exercise. Yeah. Oh, and also, right, okay, maybe I did that too. Because I'm not leaving these medium machine guns on these bases. That's right, I was thinking I was going to take the two guys and put them on a small base and call them a support element and not try to fit or squeeze all of them on one base. I could, though, probably. I was also thinking of putting them on a 30 millimeter base square, not one of these. If I put them on a 30 millimeter, I should be able to fit everybody. But yeah, I might have been thinking I was going to do 2 figures instead of 3. And with 3 machine guns, that would be 3 additional figures. But I'll have it. I'll have it even if I decide to do 3 per base. All right, guys. Thanks for checking this out. I'll see you again probably Monday. All right, take care.